Peace. It is a beautiful day, and I got a message inside of me. It might not even be a message, but I just feel like getting it out of my system and into content form. However, I am going to be mindful of when I post this. We're in Mercury retrograde. And if you know about Mercury retrogrades or what that means, or if you don't know what that means, I will try to brief you, right? So Mercury is the planet of communication. It rules the signs Gemini and Virgo. And the vacillating opposites of communication of a Gemini versus a Virgo is that Gemini is usually an external communicator. Virgo, need vacation. Virgo is the internal communicator. So, when you think of Gemini's communication, you think of like newscaster. That sounds real aged, antiquated. TV personalities. You think of podcasts. You think of talk show hosts. Okay. Virgo, you think of the intellect, the inner intellect. What it takes for you to see things through. How you analyze things. In fact, the phrase for Virgo is I analyze, and the phrase for Gemini is I think. Okay, so both of those are action words. They both deal with the mental health. Virgo is also in the sixth house over health. Gemini is third. Has to do with creativity as well as communication. So scrolling back to the other part of what I said, retrograde. What does retrograde mean? I don't have the dictionary in front of me, but when you think of retro, you think backtrack, you think retroactive, you think I'm trying to think of a better way. Just like active from in the past, right? So with a Mercury retrograde, the communication is usually like off. It goes a little haywire, a little to the left. There's a lot of miscommunication, misunderstandings. And at this present time, we're in Aries season. Yesterday we had a new moon and a solar eclipse in Aries. I'm looking outside to see if I can see the sun. So there's a lot of intensity in the action of things because Aries is a cardinal sign, a cardinal fire sign, and it rules over the first house in the zodiac. So when you think of what that means, first of all, first house means number one, means I'm first, means me, right? And Aries is the baby of the zodiac. So you think about your baby sister, baby brother. They they get stuff popping, and they are on go. They're about action. Fire. Think about what fire does. It's spicy, it's hot, it's passionate, um, and it gets you going. So we have a Mercury retrograde in Aries, and I didn't check my calendar about which planet, or sign the moon is in today, but all I'm saying is I'm making this video now. See how I got like my words and stuff all over the place? I'm making this video now, but I'm not posting it until after the retrograde. That's really what I was getting at because of my topic content. But in any event, I needed to get it out. So what was coming up for me, or I kept hearing, is if you are desiring to live on your own, but you are not able to, but you cannot at this time, or if you desire to live on your own, these are some things that you need to be concerned about, especially while we are going through all of this transition. There's a lot of change going on. And so if you can't afford to live on your own, call all your own shots, do shit exactly the way that you want to do it, and you are in a position where you have to, or it is best that you come together with family, and family don't have to be your blood all the time, right? With family, with loved ones, and you have to reside together, then these are some things you need to think about in reference to what would make the transition, that time that you spend, oh, my hands are ashy, that time that you spend with said family and loved ones, a smoother transition. Be open to, or you're gonna have to be open to compromise. You're gonna learn to share. You're gonna learn to accept what it means to be considerate. You're gonna learn what it means to open your mind to what if things don't go your way, and how to operate in that. And what I mean by that is, if you are used to a long time in the bathroom, let's just use something simple like that, right? But you're in a home with 3 or more people, you have to now be considerate about the time that you're going to spend in the bathroom, especially if all of you work? And what if one of you does not work? What if one of you is in transition and can't find a job? What if one of you is in transition and say it's you and you're not supposed to look for a job? Like, what are you prepared to contribute to your household so that this transition of living together until you're able to do your own thing looks like? What does that look like? What are you willing to contribute so that everything can continuously flow, so that there is cooperation, right? Personalities. You're going to learn a lot about yourself and the people that you live with, and how to deal with different personalities. Like, it's almost, I was going to say, it's almost like when COVID happened, right? And there were stories, there were things that came out about people who were married, were cohabitating, and it ended up being revealed that people was just using each other. People was really like playing on situations to their advantage from both ends. And if they didn't learn a lot about themselves during that time or before that time, they learned a lot during COVID. So I'm bringing this up because I really don't keep abreast of the news and how things are like turning out with the person in charge right now. And growing up, I never was into politics. I wasn't into politics. I didn't vote. And that was due to my religious background, former religious background. And I allowed it to just be. And some people might look at that as, being a little reckless or whatever. But I tell you what, I would much rather have my sanity and my peace of mind than to be stressing over things that I cannot change instantaneously. Now, I'm not saying they can't change at all, but the way people are going on about the current state of affairs in certain situations, right? The answers are there for us. And I want to say it's really easy. It's really easy for me to say it, but it is a task for everyone to handle. Part of that task is coming together, which is why I think the thought even kept coming up in my head, to just share it about living with other people and being able, if you want to be on your own, or if you want to get ahead, how we would be, or how we will be able to get ahead. We can't be focused on just I and me. We can't remain focused on um, me first. Not when you living with other people, and not when you have a goal in mind, an idea that is going to benefit more than you. It takes the work of everybody. And if you are a person that is used to being selfish, you're used to not looking at things in the long for the long haul or for the long term. But you want to see change, you're going to have to change in order to see change. And the whole idea of everybody pulling together to do their part to me, this is what it looks like. You function on less so that you can do more. And doing more in terms of, say you like to travel and your family that you with is down to travel. If you came together with that family, y'all took care of where you live, everybody's able to save some type of money. You can all pull your money together when it's time to go away and go somewhere where you really want to go. Be around people that you really want to be around and enjoy yourself. Or if you chose not to go out with family, but you decided you still wanted to go away, the fact that you are now cohabitating with family, it gives you an opportunity to still pool your resources together, and everybody ends up being able to save in some kind of way, because the weight is not on one person. It is divisible by however many people that you reside with, and it puts you in a position to save for other things that you really want. It also helps you readjust your focus on things, right? Just out here shopping, buying shit. Like, I feel I get it. Some of us are in cycles and times of our life where we want to get to the things. We want to buy the things. We want to have the things. But then when you find out that the things are not bringing you joy, they're not bringing you long-lasting pleasure, they're not satiating you to a point of fulfillment, what do? You stop buying the things. You start focusing on matters of the heart, your mental health, how you can assist someone else with your resources / gifts, right? And I keep hearing the word become a minimalist. You don't necessarily have to become a minimalist, but there are some people that learn to live that way. I consider myself one of those people. Sometimes I've come across the thought of, am I playing small? And then I'm like, nah, because what is it that I really want? Like, I ask myself that question every day, for real. And I never come up with an answer immediately. And when I do come up with answers, they're not always tangible things. Like, I love to travel. I like taking trips. I do. I like to travel. But I don't always think, oh, what do I want? I want to go to said place. It doesn't always come up right away. Um, I don't say, oh, I want a new car. And I look at that also, a new vehicle, a new home, uh, what has to be done in order to even what I thought had to be done in order to even attain those things. And then it's like, okay, well, what purpose is it going to serve? If I just want the house for myself because I want to live by myself, it's really not serving any purpose. So do I really need the house? No. Car, that's subjective. You know what I'm saying? I really would prefer um, a reliable, I would take a new car over an old one. But if I couldn't get the new one right immediately, then one that is reliable, one that I can maintain, one that runs well would be my preference over striving to get a new car. Because let's face it, I can't even make a sarcastic joke and say, what you gonna do, live in your car? Because guess what? It's people living in their cars. I've slept in my car a couple of times. But there are people actually living in their car. And for some people, they are deliberately doing it. And they're doing it so that they can recoup money, avoid or evade other external expenses, So they have to maintain maybe a car note and car insurance versus a mortgage, a car note, car insurance, utilities, more utilities, and then investing in things. I was going to say shopping. Your pardon me. Your priorities change when you switch up how you decide you're going to live, be it with family, loved ones, and I'm saying family, loved ones versus friends, because the people that you are with 9 times out of 10 throughout most of the day, that is usually who becomes family. So if you work a job and you come home to these different versions of what family looks like. It could be cousins. It could be maybe your uncle, your aunt, some cousins, and some mutual friends, or mutual friends and some cousins or whatever. But these people become your family. And the dynamic of it, I'm pouring myself some apple juice. The dynamic of it changes because it's not your siblings, it's not your parents. It is who you're aligned with. It's who you're aligned with. And I sigh because the way I started thinking about sharing what I was thinking about with you has totally, like, it's totally morphed. It's changed. And what else made me think about sharing these thoughts with you is how I eat, right? I started thinking about that. So it was the how I eat, and the fact that I am grateful that I can share a refrigerator, a kitchen, be in a home, have access to a shower, a bathroom, a clean bathroom, a new bathroom, my own room, and dwell in a space with others in peace. That's where all of this came from. Because there was a time when it wasn't so pleasant. There was a time when it wasn't so pleasant. And it was very uncomfortable. I still was grateful that I had a place to live, but the peace of mind was missing. And so the other point that I wanted to bring out is that when you are faced with the situation of residing with others that now become your family because of whatever circumstances, how much gratitude do you show? How much gratitude do you express? What are your thoughts actually being fed? Are you complaining because you don't of what you don't have anymore, or the changes that you had to make in order to be where you currently reside? Or are you grateful that you have a place to do anything in? Because things are changing drastically, fast, and dramatically. And again, all I could think about was, I'm grateful that I can come home from work, that I actually can work, and I do have a recession-proof career, an opportunity to continue to take care of myself and to thrive, not just survive. I still got my shades on. I was able to go get something to eat, come home and make my food, and go to my room and sit down and make this video. I was going to go outside and do it, but it's overcast. And I didn't want to get caught, in the rain if it happens to start raining, because it is overcast. It just made me think a lot about, I feel like eating, y'all. I'm not sorry about that. It made me think about people that are having to move, having to uproot, people that have lost their homes due to external elements and otherwise. All I could remember was the times that I myself had to move, transition, leave places where it was no longer a good look for me to be praying, crying, wishing, trusting, hoping that one day I would get stable. One day I would get situated and have my feet planted. And I'm in that space and time right now. And as I am in this space and time right now, I am giving thanks. I'm giving thanks for my next steps, my next moves, my trains of thought, my gratitude, my awareness to remind myself when I get a little irritated about how I would want things to be, that I must remember there was a time when I wanted it to be exactly what it is. And so, with the reminder and sharing to you who you might be faced with, where you're going, who are you about to be with? If you have the gift of choice to be in a place, or by some miraculous happening, you are asked or told, come here, be here with us, go. And I say go because you've been looking, praying, asking, wondering. You might even have been worrying about where you are going to be next. And it was not by coincidence that you are able to go where you are about to go. A year ago, I was in a position where I was waiting to hear from a homeless shelter for single women. And, excuse me, it's been 2 years. No, it's been a year. It's been a year. And I almost couldn't believe it. It really hurt me to my heart that I was like there. I was at that point. I was beating myself up, wondering why, how did I let myself get to that position? And a lot of things came up. But the one thing that I remember, and I do it often for other people, is to encourage them. So I had to stay encouraged. I had to encourage myself. And I stayed busy. I was doing Uber Eats. And I really enjoyed Uber Eats. I didn't do Uber driving, like with, taking people here and there or whatever. I really enjoyed doing Uber Eats. So I did that as long as I could. And an opportunity by means of some loved ones that I know presented itself. And I was asked, told, invited to go. And I did. And I'm a Capricorn sun and a Cancer rising and a Taurus moon. The Capricorn in me wants to know things are going to be stable. The Cancer in me was concerned about, what does this look like on the outside to family? And where was my family? And I wish I had family to go to, be with. The Taurus in me was like, wow. This is something I would do for someone else. But I'm also looking at how stable this situation is going to be. Like, what is the longevity of it? Are my surroundings going to be, will I be able to function in them? But knowing who it was that offered me this opportunity to go, I felt good about it. I had to release any worry and doubt about being in a new environment with someone that I didn't know but had to share a space with. I am extremely adaptable. That's something about Capricorns that y'all may not know. But y'all wonder all the time, like, how do they do it? Look at a mountain goat climb a mountain. Some of the glyphs of a Capricorn are a sea goat, right? Depicting that they navigate through circumstances. And for the glyphs that are just the goat, look at how a goat climbs a mountain, how it scales a mountain. Excuse me. And that's how we do it. We're not looking at, oh, it's a little bit a cliff. We just know it's some rock there. We could put our foot on it. We could stand up on it. We're going to stand on it. We're going to step onto it. And the transition was made. The move was made. There was a lot more that I ended up having to release. And instead of thinking about what else I would have to do to adapt, conform, become more malleable, right? Because I looked at this from another standpoint. I looked at it from a spiritual standpoint, that I was being molded, right? I was being refined by fire as well. At the same time, I was being protected, covered, and in becoming more adaptable, right? Learning to be more adaptable, my mind started thinking quickly about, like I shared with you about my eating, how I would sleep. I was prepared. I was prepared. I was always prepared to be going, and short-term staying places. But because at this point in time, I was open to the way. It just kept getting more and more expansive. I was going to say better and better and better. And it was bittersweet in the better. So the blessing in it all was that it brought me to family, my literal blood relatives. And even in that, we were close, but I never thought that I would come full circle after being not only on my own and alone, but come full circle to family. And all of the wisdom in my moving would now serve some purpose. Because like I said, I'm very adaptable. And just because you're adaptable doesn't mean that you always want to be where you are. But when you know how to be, it changes everything. So I'm grateful that I am where I want to be. I'm where I can see myself going further. And I am where I need to be. Because all family is not home. So when you come together with family, loved ones, and you get along, you have peace in your home. That's the ultimate. That's the biggest flex. It's the biggest flex. It makes everything else work withable. It makes everything else doable. It makes everything else, I almost want to say, a piece of cake. It changes the dynamic of what it is that you think you want. The things that you question yourself and you say, well, what do you want? What do you want? And it's like, what do you have? I have a peace of mind. I have a home to come to. Not just a house that I live in or reside in or I'm renting a space in. I have a home that I'm coming to. And although we're different, there's love here. There's teamwork. There is compatibility because we can reside together. There is an understanding that is unspoken but felt. There are healthy boundaries. There are realistic expectations. And there is support on all levels. So, if you are faced with having to move, having to relocate, going to a place, maybe you've never been there before. Maybe you're coming out of a situation where you had everything to yourself. And now that has to change. Trust that it is for your highest good. Trust that everything is going to work out. It already has been worked out because you have some place to go. Think about one of those things that you at one time may have said you wanted in a tangible sense, being something that is something that you can feel, like peace, like joy, something you can experience, like laughter, like feeling welcomed, feeling wanted, the appreciation of your presence being embraced. Versus what you could have, what you could do, how you want things to be. Look at what you're being blessed with right now. It's something that you prayed for. It's an answer to your prayers. It's an answer to a question about what you was going to do just a minute ago. And trust that everything is always working out for you. Trust that everything has worked out in your favor. And that now is a time for you to establish yourself and get yourself together on the inside to prepare for later, to prepare for whatever else it is that is coming your way that you desire. I feel like I'm pretty much at the end of this message. I'm gonna go eat, so I don't be rude, because I really can't offer you none. You can't have any, you know. I've been munching on my chickpea puffs. These. It's so good. And I have a wrap that I made. And I got my dessert. So do you really want to see what I'm eating? All right. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. This is my wrap. Alright. It's my mushrooms, corn, cruciferous crunch, hummus, hemp seeds, avocado, horseradish sauce, or horseradish, salad, avocado, the corn, the chickpeas, and the mushrooms. Oh, and I cut up a little bit of prune in it. And this is my dessert bowl. Hold on. I'll be using a lot of press and seal to keep my stuff from spilling out. All right. Hold on. Okay. And this is my dessert. There's blueberries in here. It's little broken up pieces of lemon zest cake, granola, blueberries, hemp seeds, baby bananas. Hold on. Granola. Yeah. Hold on. Why did I show you that? All of this was a byproduct of me adapting in transition from one place to another. I had to change my eating. I didn't want to make the excuse of not having my own space to cook, or I didn't want to have any excuses for not nurturing myself through my eating the way I would like. So I have taken my cleaner eating to a different level. I swapped out my sweets in a different way. And even down to my chips. Because who don't like red Doritos? The Doritos in the red bag. Even after finding out that red is like actually parasitic, right? We find out all these things about the stuff that we eat. That is no good. And it is a challenge to go cold turkey and stay that way. So you have to you have to reinvent ways to be okay with yourself. Be good with your eating. Be good to yourself in your eating. And that's one of my ways that I did it. I eat a lot more fruit. Do I not eat all the other things? No, that's why I got a little piece of lemon zest cake broken up, but I got key lime on top of that. Like, my senses have to be pleased. I please them in different ways. And I'm not ashamed of it. And that's why I shared it with you. So, my wraps, I replaced my eating red meat with mushrooms. I do still crave red meat here and there. And when I really want some, I go get some oxtails. It's Caribbean food. Straight up, but it gotta be good. I don't play about what I like to taste, what I like to eat, what I like to experience when I'm eating. So until that time comes, I stay with my wraps. I cook my mushrooms, I bake them. My cruciferous crunch comes from Trader Joe's. And no, I'm not getting paid for telling y'all any of this. I'm just telling you just in case you want to know where to go to find what it is I'm talking about. My hummus is, my favorite is a honey habanero hummus, but when I can't find that, I get sweet chili garlic hummus. I'll use that to replace mayonnaise because I don't like mayonnaise. I don't like to see mayo on my sandwiches. I'll eat potato salad. I'll eat deviled eggs. Or as somebody called them, angel eggs. I have the deviled eggs. I have things that require seafood salad too. I'll have things that require mayo in them, but I don't like plain mayo on my sandwiches or my wraps. And I am currently looking for a mayo replacement. My chips, like I said, I have this bag of they're called hip peas, HIPPEAS, chickpea puffs. What else you want me to say? I kicked Doritos to the curb from my chickpea puffs, and I love them. My liquid, I drink water. Right now it's Avion. If it's not alkaline. And I love apple juice. Martinelli's apple juice. I love pineapple juice. And I love teas. Today I didn't make my tea. I usually have like a really strong ginger tea. I buy my ginger, clean it off, cut it up, and freeze it. And I make ginger tea every day. I add cinnamon to it, Ceylon cinnamon. I add key lime juice, lemon juice, and agave, blue agave as a sweetener. That helps a whole lot. I also drink kombucha, and I do suja as well. For my green drinks, like my celery juice or the blend of greens, celery, cucumber, kale, green apple. Yeah, but today the drink is apple juice, and that's my food. That's what I'm about to eat. I thank y'all for staying this long. If you stayed this long, and I am a new content creator. I am learning to be more comfortable in my own skin. I'm not trying to be like nobody else, because I have seen people, I have compared myself to others, but I do, excuse me, follow some really strong content creators that keep me inspired to just be myself. And I'm going to shout one of them out. And her name is Ayanda Stood. Beautiful, beautiful soul. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ayanda. And with the information about this retrograde, shout out Queen Poe. And shout out to Saturn's daughter, Patreon. Our family at Patreon over there is pretty lit. And I learn a lot from all these different areas, which always brings me back to self. So I gotta shout myself out too. Go me. And me is Dana Nicole. I thank you for staying to the end. If you did and you enjoyed what I shared, because I am going to continue posting, leave me some pixie dust, those little stars. Leave me some pixie dust in the comments. And other than that, I will speak with you all at another time. Peace.